Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you, Sis Yakim. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due. And this is a video, this is going to be a response to the video that was done by the Apostle Gabar, right? Going into the women, especially the modern women that exist in America, Babylon the Great. And it's just like the apostles say, you have to stay away from a lot of these Babylonian women, especially the Israelite woman in Babylon, because she has been completely corrupted by the way of this wicked kingdom, right? So all the evil philosophies and doctrines that have been pushed to the women of this kingdom, your feminism, women's lib, the whole liberalism thing, right? The LGBT alphabet community, and so on and so forth. And our women are heavily involved in those things, and also of course the devaluing and putting down of the man, or removing the man entirely from his role as the lead or the head of the household, right? When the gender role is completely destroyed, that's why you have the situation that you currently have among Jake, right? So he was responding to a video he saw on his feed that was going into all the failings and the way in which women, right, the modern women that exist in Babylon the Great behave, right? And the thing is that you have this type of behavior and this type of woman really concentrated heavily in America, Babylon the Great. Now, of course, you have them in other parts of the world, right? All these women that act in the same way in which a lot of these Babylonian women behave, but that's just few and far between, because for the most part, for the most part, right, you still have a lot of these women out here, it's outside of Babylon the Great, still not being as wicked, because you already know it is the women that we're dealing with, right? And even the scriptures goes into just how far the wickedness of a woman is, because they are the weaker vessel. But at least you have that authority being given to the man in order to be able to curb that, right? So I want to get this precept real quick, because I think it's just relevant to what I was going into. Like I said, like the apostle said, or like the apostles stay away from the Israelite women. So now let me go to the book of Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, right? So this is the book of Isaiah 3. Let me see. Here it is. Isaiah 3 verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanting eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet, right? And our women, especially in this kingdom, right, have become exceedingly proud. But that's beside the point. That's not actually what this video is going into, but rather this video is an indictment on the behavior of all the women in Babylon the Great, and also by extension is an indictment of the rulership of Babylon the Great. Because I would urge you, Akim, to remember, I believe it was Darius of Persia in the book of Esther, right? And how he... But let me just play this video first before I go into that.
Due to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash, Shalom to you brothers and sisters of the household of faith. So let's check it out.
You ladies watch this video can take this in a different context as well, and you can think of this in exactly what I'm about to say towards men all you want, because I understand there's not all good men out there either, but at the end of the day, I am a man and I deal with women, so I'm going to make this about this, and it's going to be very relatable. And I do believe in this current society we're in, I do believe that there's more bad women than there are bad men. And that is not, if I was a woman, I'd have the exact same outlook, because I'm a realist at the end of the day, and I know what I see, and I know what's out there, and it is what it is. So
that's a key word he used there, realist. Now, even the scriptures say this, knowing the time. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go to this scripture. Time is short.
Let me just keep this part. Just get to the main
It's
point.
short. Apostle Paul looks like that. Short. And have time when she wants to come up. All right, highway. Tell him that, man. Again, that okay.
Dating pool really is. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad, bro. Like, really bad. Like, it doesn't even matter how good you are. You can get lots of options. You can get lots of stuff. But when it comes to something long term, that's what we're going to talk about. When it comes to something long term, when it comes to something worth marrying, having kids with, it's almost non-existent. There is not a shortage on women to just get with women, to date some women here and there, to do all that stuff. There's not a shortage of it. And it's not an issue, but the real issue is the long-term thing. That's a massive issue. Massive. And that is why we are cooked. Because a little bit of time goes on, bro, and you start to see exactly what you're dealing with, and you know in the back of your head, this woman is not it. That's being nice. She is not it. And, you just know there's a strong possibility of this, not working. And usually if you feel that way, it don't work. Anytime I've ever felt that way about a woman I was dating, it did not work. But you stick around, you give them a shot, you see if they can improve, if they can wake up a little bit, but it typically does not happen, and that is why we are cooked. Because you get to know somebody, bro, and it's like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. They are behind. They have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of healing to do. This is effed up. And for the
That's basically what I wanted to get about that, right? And it's going into the woes of dealing with women that have been, basically brainwashed, right? Women that have drunken of the wine of Babylon the Great, because that's what it really is. Right, and you see this situation being constantly echoed over there in America, Babylon the Great, and this is how bad it has gotten for them there, right? And this is all, of course, as a result of the system that's, or rather the kingdom, the rulership that is set up by Esau, Edom in America, Babylon the Great. So let me start by getting the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter, right? Because even the scriptures tells you that as the judge is, right, or as the ruler of a people are, or as the ruler is, so will the people be as well. And let's I'll get that precept next, but I want to get this one first. So this is the book of Isaiah 24, and I'll go to Isaiah 24. Yes. Isaiah 24 verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. And the thing that always gets me about, the relationship situation in America, Babylon the Great, especially between men and women, is this whole idea of dating, right? Because this is going to be, I don't really know how it's going to go, but to me, this is just speaking as a man, but man, dating is going off, right? Because that is where a lot of these problems between men and women come from. Because you go back to the order that was set up by the Most High, Yahweh Hashem. Let me go to that. That is in the book of Genesis, and I believe that's the first or second chapter, right? So let's see if I can find that precept. Here it is. Now Genesis 2 verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh, right? And this whole idea of dating, because I just remembered now that part of the whole idea of dating is when you're in a relationship with somebody, boyfriend, girlfriend, and you're also having sex with each other, with the purpose or the intention to finally get married, without realizing that the act of sex is marriage. Okay, you go to the book of Exodus, the 18th, I believe it's Exodus, the 18th chapter, on the 23rd verse, and it says that if a man enticeth a maid and lay with her, right, he will surely ordain her to be his wife. Let me get that precept. Yeah, it is. So this is the book of Exodus 22 verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife, right? So the act of sex in and of itself is already marriage, right? But you have this system set up in America, Babylon the Great, this whole dating thing, where the idea is that you shop around, you go around and lay with different men, right? If you're a woman, of course, right? Because you already know, man to man is going off, right? Or if you're a man, you go and lay with different women, which of course is not going off so long as those women are not betrothed, right, or married to any man. But that's just it. When you have a kingdom where everybody is basically, it's one giant orgy, so the women are running around laying with different men, and then the men are also running around laying with different women, and not really, attaching themselves to each other, or rather, let me just use a different word. And they are not, and they are doing so with no strings attached, right? One night stands and the like. That's where you get this confusion. That's the reason why you have this situation within Babylon the Great, especially when the relationships are completely destroyed, because now all these women have that liberation, right? That liberty, that sexual liberation. And I even did a video going into that. My previous video was talking about the same thing, dealing with that woman that you saw sleeping with 100 men in 24 hours. And let's not make any mistake about it, let's be, because let's be honest, to me, man, the woman is the weaker vessel, so of course she's going to fall for the wiles of Esau, Edom, and the men obviously see through it. At the end of the day, man, this is all a result of the wine of Babylon the Great, because these women out here, you think they don't even know what's really going on, right? They can't tell that they are being taken advantage of by Esau, Edom, and being used, right, in order to push or continue to push the wicked agenda that Esau has set up. And part of that wicked agenda is, to aside from population control, right, but also to control the affairs of everybody on this planet. So total control. And by giving the woman liberty, what he has done is that he has destroyed the family structure, right? And he has destroyed the order that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai set up between men and women. So now, you say the woman is equal to a man, even though she is not, right? In order to push further division between men and women. And when you have that division, right, it makes them easier to control, because that's what this all leads to. And make no mistake about it, of course the women are, they are the way that they are, but in a just righteous kingdom, do you think that these women would still be behaving in this manner? Like I was saying, in a just righteous kingdom, do you think the women would still be behaving in this manner? But rather it is because of Esau, man. So this is the book of Proverbs 29 verse 12. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. This is what I'm looking for. Slack, yeah. This is what I'm looking for. Let me see if I can find our precepts. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to remember how this precept goes. So let me quickly get these precepts. Let me quickly get these precepts. Let me look for it in the KJV. Ah, here it is. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Right, this is just something I've been meditating on for a while, boss. You begin to realize that a lot of the time, right, the people that exist in a kingdom adopt the same ideology and mindset that is being pushed by the ruling class of that kingdom. Okay, and a lot of it, and you just realize, and really, is from realizing just how malleable and gullible a lot of the people of this kingdom are. Okay, a lot of these people aren't able to form their own thoughts. So what they see, rather than understanding the situation, rather than analyzing their situation and their current condition, and moving or making steps towards trying to understand their situation and trying to fix or correct whatever issues that they might be having due to that, right? Or seeing the error of their ways, basically just that, they continue in this wickedness, man. This manipulated state that they are in, believing that what they are doing is right or is correct, when in all actuality is completely off. It is completely wicked, okay? And once again, man, this is all I blame all of this situation, man. Everything I blame Esau, man. And that's just the mindset I have. When in doubt, blame Esau. Okay. It's because of this devil that you have to be telling Jake out here to be stay away from you're staying away from modern women. And it's because of Esau that you even have any such animal as a modern woman. Because this is what Esau had done. Even the scriptures warn you, do not give the woman liberty. And not because, oh, well, the Bible is a book written, because how these feminists talk, man. Oh, the Bible is a book written by men that want to control women's bodies. Like these women have control of their own. Let me not start. So, let me not start, right? But rather, it's because of the wisdom that is within the Bible. Because you realize just how vindicative and petty these women are, to the point where they would even be willing to harm themselves, okay? That's the thing right there. These women are perfectly willing to harm themselves in order to, they're basically the idea is they'll make themselves bleed now to bruise you, right? They will harm themselves now to put you in a situation or put you in trouble. That's why you see a lot of women setting men up all the time, putting themselves in dangerous situations all the time, and then being surprised when something happens to them, right? Well, let's go into this. Let's go into this instead, okay? Because you see all this now, and then your channel get and then this will now start looking for occasion against you to bring or take to take your channel down for such and such comments. Let me just keep it at that. But the point being is this: that 100%, man, the apostle really went in that video, and the guy that was talking, even he was making the point, and he was right, man. The situation in Babylon the Great is straight up deplorable, okay? And I put everything at the feet, and I blame Esau for everything, and I blame Esau for it. Okay, all right. So let's continue what I wanted to say. All right. So let's see. So let me start from the top, okay, just to get the context. Esther 1 verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. That in those days when King Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the palace, right? So this Ahasuerus, I believe Ahasuerus was Xerxes, okay? So basically, during the Achaemenid Medo-Persian Empire, you had Ahasuerus, which I believe was Xerxes, okay? And he was in rulership over the Persian Empire, which was, it was a large empire, man. going all the way to the land of Elam, from the land of Elam all the way to the borders of Ethiopia, even into parts of North Africa as well, right? So let me jump down a little bit to the main point because he was having a feast. Now, Esther 1 verse 8, and the drinking was according to the law, none did compel, for so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also, Vashti the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mahuman, Bista, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to shew the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Right, so the king made a command to his queen, that he should come before his chamberlains, and all these I believe what these are, I know all these men in the kingdom that have all these high positions, that she basically said no, right? Ignored the command from the king. And this is why the scriptures say that the man is, and as the scriptures say that the man is the head, right? And the woman, that the man is the head, basically above the woman. And you have the same what's it I'm looking for, hierarchy in all cultures, right? All over the world. Even in your so-called matriarchies, for the most part, the matriarchies, the man is still the head of the house, right? But the overall leader will always be, the woman. But the men still have such, hold most of the high positions. You can look up any matriarchy you like, going back in history at any time, and you'll find that the majority of the actual, decision makers, right? The council, the heads were all men, with a woman just being the central figurehead or the actual official leader. So let's continue reading. Now, Esther 1 verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And then next to him was Karshena, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, and 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law, because she hath not performed the commandments of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains? Right, and this is an example of just that, a woman practicing or trying to have over much liberty, and we'll see how the men of that time dealt with that and compare it to how the men of this time would deal with that, because you have some simps, okay, right? Some of these modern men out there that will be like, oh well, if Queen Vashti doesn't want to come in the presence of the king, then she had no reason to come, right? If she didn't feel like it, then there wasn't any point in making her go, and saying things like that. But what you have to understand, okay, and what they don't really understand is that it's about order and respect. So let's continue reading. Now, Esther 1 verse 16. And Memucan answered before the king and princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Right, and because you have this man, right, Ahasuerus Xerxes, which is basically from the line of the kings of Persia, and the Medes and Persians, right, controlling over 100 provinces, basically the whole of West Asia and parts of North Africa and Southeast Asia. This man of great power, of great wealth and great status, right? And then you have the queen, which is basically just there. Let's be honest, right? Now she might have come from one noble house or the other, but in reality, right, you have, this was the king right here, and he gave that order that, look, let her come in here to let her come to me. He called for her, and she basically said no, right? You guys see the mindset that a lot of these women have, that, it doesn't matter how much authority or status or anything of that nature that the man has, that they should still have that's let me just keep reading. Let me just keep reading. 'Cause I don't. Let me just keep reading. Right. Well, you see how this situation is being dealt with, right? So basically, the idea is just what I was going into, that as the judge, the ruler of a people, as the ruler is, so will the people be as well. So even in this time, they knew that, when once the rumor, because you know how these rumors spread, right? Once it comes out that the king summoned his queen and his queen said no, and the king didn't do anything about it, right? That situation will spread like wildfire. That, oh, if even the queen, if the queen of can say no to the king of all people, right? Then who is this husband that I have here? And basically, you have chaos, and it will ultimately devolve to the situation that you have, in America, Babylon the Great, right? Where you have the women being willful, right? Over, against the men, and you have the women just basically straight up just disrespecting the men, okay? Because it's not just a matter of, oh well, I called for her and she said no. Now it's, oh, women don't want to cook anymore, women don't want to clean anymore, now women are, it's basically just what you see going on with modern feminism, where you have women basically being against any form of male authority, right? So their whole constant complaint is, oh, look at all these men that are in power. Look at what all these men that are in power are doing. Why can't women also be in power as well? And saying things of that nature, right? But the main point here being is that, when you give the woman too much, over much liberty, right, you end up with complete, chaos, because that's basically how the woman's mind operates. The weaker vessel, and the weaker vessel, and it has already been ordained from the beginning, going back to Adam and Eve, that let's go to that. The man shall be over the woman, right? But Esau has basically turned that upside down and tried to remove that, what the Most High has set up. And that's why you have this situation that you currently have on the earth, because basically these women are running around, walking around without their head, okay? So now Genesis 1, okay, not Genesis 1, Salakia, not Genesis 1. So now Genesis, let's see. Genesis 3, verse 16. And unto the woman he said, and he of course being the Most High, Yahweh, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Right. And basically, you have these women walking around without their heads, which is why you have, the complete, disarray when it comes to male and female relationships that you have in the West. And of course, you have the devil in the background stoking the fire and completely, pushing for more chaos, more, confusion, more disarray, and more of this wickedness. That's why Esau is constantly promoting and pushing more and more liberation in the form of wickedness, right? So you have whoredoms, okay? Let these women out here just them sleeping around and dealing with all kinds of different men, right? Focus on your career rather than focusing on marriage, focus on focus on the everything else except for focus on everything else except for being in order. Don't listen to the man, right? Don't listen to the authority of the man, that, oh, women can do it all too, and this and that. Basically the whole like I said, feminism and women's liberation, and that's the confusion that has brought in this king. And that's why you see, especially in America, Babylon the Great, right, that there's a complete gender divide, and there's a complete gender divide. And men, most of the men over there in the West can't even deal with the women that are there as well, because they are completely taken and destroyed by the wine of feminism. So with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom.